Alrighty.
No.
Jessie, what's your podcast? I mean, your topic.
Well, what is my podcast? I don't have one even.
Just in bits.
Just gonna put it out there. I have a YouTube channel. No,
You're doing a lot of plugging.
It's almost
today.
like this podcast is sponsored by your YouTube channel.
yeah, I know, right? It just pops up in the little left-hand corner. Please click and subscribe.
That's what YouTube networking is all about.
Well, yeah, I guess, and that's the thing, and something that I reckon we should start. Oh, that was
our collab fist
Yeah.
bump.
You know what I think we should do? So, you've got the YouTuber community and this isn't my topic, I just have to say this quickly.
Yeah.
You know the YouTube community, there's like the American group of different things.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you've got
And the
like,
UK
then you've
group.
got the gaming group and then the UK group. So like Alfie, Zoella, Marcus, Joey, is it?
You're just like twiddling
No,
thumbs like,
no,
I
no,
don't know
no,
I
no,
don't
no.
like any of these.
I am absolutely. I do
No,
not
no,
claim to be
okay.
part of the YouTube community.
Listen
No.
to this, listen to this. So we've got
He's
we've
got his
got-
like little indie podcast that
I
goes
know,
off to
I
the
know.
side.
Just
You
listen.
need
I think
to
it's
network.
Yes, so we have Zoe and Alfie, they're dating, right? And then we've got Tanya Burr and Jim who are going to get married. They're all British, they're all friends, right? Then Zoella has a younger brother, Joe Sugg. They've also he's got a friend called Casper Lee. And they've all this massive community. Oh, and then there's also Marcus and Naomi. And they all plug
She's
each
a true
other.
YouTuber right here.
And they're all together and they vlog. They get more money out of their vlogs, I think, than their main channels, right? Because they've continually, like, grouped. And that's why I thought an Australian group would be so cool.
So the moral to the story is you need to start vlogging, and I need to have a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and your
And
brother
Lars is
needs a
going to
YouTube
start
channel.
a YouTube channel.
Lars
and
is
then,
going to start a YouTube
and
channel.
then someone else, one of our siblings, your
Maybe,
younger sister,
maybe I can have
Aaron could start a YouTube channel.
Maybe I can have next year Mon's Gap, and have a gap year.
Ooh.
And do, because you got Jack's Gap in the UK.
Yeah.
That's another. That's
That's
another
good. That's a
YouTuber.
whole nother group again. Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on. People keep saying, like, this podcast, and, like, it's primarily my friends, and they're like, you've got to, like, decide on a target audience, even. Like, your content's just all over the place. Like, one minute you're talking about wrestlers, the next thing you're talking about Taylor Swift.
But you're
It's just
catering
like-
to everyone.
It's just like, we just talk about whatever. Like, it's just
Yeah.
us. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to
But
think
there's-
that this was targeted towards kind of, like, pop culture and geek culture and stuff like that, but it's kind of just, like, whatever now, really.
Yeah, but like it's something for everyone. There's no way I'd ever watch. No offense, but like I'd never watch you talking about wrestling. But yeah, if Taylor Swift's in the title, I'm gonna
exactly.
click on that and
Yeah.
give it a watch.
To be honest, I never click on a video about wrestling, but yet I create them.
Did you do one about wrestling?
Well, yeah, they were Calvin's topics, and he's a wrestling fan, and I'm like, wrestling, huh,
I can-
Ronda Rousey, sure.
I can tell the ones that I'm not gonna like because as soon as I click on them and start listening to them, there's all these words that like these like CPR and CPR, that's different.
CPR.
Like all these
When did we ever talk
acronyms
about-
and, like the
Oh my gosh.
not like these gaming acronyms and stuff. And
Oh, right,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
I'm just like,
So if I said, what would you respond to CPU?
yeah, that's
What is
computer.
that?
I know what that is.
That's a computer.
I thought that was
okay.
a school.
No.
That's what I'm
Oh,
What
goodness.
about FPS?
No. This is fun.
Is
Continue.
that like swear words?
AFK.
Ooh, that's like JFK, John F. Kennedy.
No!
Arthur.
No! AFK is
What
away
about,
from keyboard.
What about this one? ISIS.
AFK, but that's like
That's the second ISIS reference in,
know.
like,
We're gonna get
the
killed, aren't we?
last two topics. Oh my
Oh,
god.
gosh.
We're gonna get killed, aren't we?
I
Please, no.
okay, so I wanted my topic to be
Just to
Netflix.
clarify for the Australian intelligence listening to this podcast, this is just a plain black backdrop. It's not a black flag of any kind. Let's move on.
Okay. So
my topic leads nicely into yours.
It does, except I always change my topic last minute. So
Oh gosh, okay.
Did you
My-
change the topic on me?
I don't know. So I wanted my topic to be Netflix, right? And a couple of different things in Netflix. But just then I had another idea that
Sure.
I also want to talk about. Is
We'll just call you multiple topic Jessie from now on.
well, yeah.
Jess in boots.
Uh,
Jess in lots of different boots.
Jess and other
What?
people.
Oh, you know, it's like there used to be this kid
How
show
do I respond
called,
to this politely?
There used to be this kid show called Franny's Feet, and he's like, "Where will my feet take me
I
today?"
remember that.
And so now which
Franny's feet?
yeah,
I love that. She had like a shoebox.
imagine
and
if
she
it was
just pushed it
Fanny
down.
Feet.
We're making so many bad jokes today.
They're not bad. I haven't sworn once yet.
Good on you.
Yeah, thank you.
Sunday.
That's a personal best. So I think something.
Whose idea was this?
Okay, I want my topic to be about culture today, right? So we've spoken about music streaming and stuff, and Netflix can also be talked about if we need to. But generalization is something that I feel needs to be addressed.
I love when you bring such. I said to you, and I wanted a contentious topic. Like when you talked about
When you
Nicki
talk about-
Minaj
yeah.
with Taya, I watched
And we
that
spent about
whole
like
hour.
40 minutes
Like,
talking about
I-
pornography.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and
but
I thought that was
it's insightful
fantastic.
because you get different people and you go, oh, I agree with them on that point, or I agree on that point. And I feel like something that our culture's trying to do is, you know, shame less, you know, judge less, all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got the videos where you're going, okay, well, we've tried to embrace all body types. But then in this song, in the song by, what's her face?
Meghan Trainor.
Meghan Trainor.
Yeah.
And she did the song, and she was like, "Oh, you skinny beepers." You
You're trying really hard on swear.
yeah. You know, and so then it was skinny shaming, and then you've got all these different types of things, right? And the other thing I was reading is, you know, people say, I don't fully understand what religion ISIS and terrorist groups claim to be from. The one where it's like an amount of virgins are from you. What? It's like extreme Islam or something. What is it? Tell me.
This is what's wrong with the world.
Why are you laughing?
Well, yes, they claim to be doing what they're doing on the basis of their Islamic faith.
Okay.
But it's entirely
but it's
sort of
distorted,
it's
and that's what I
distortion, yeah,
wanted
like-
to say about you've got the generalized things and you've got the characterized stereotypes of Christianity, of Islam, is that right?
of Muslims, yeah.
Muslims, yeah. And so they're going, there's a statistic, if you want to look it up or something, it's going, everybody's seeing like all these terroristic groups and measures with this Islamic flag portrayed as death and as all this kind of stuff, when really I think the Islamic faith is totally not meant to be about death and destruction. It's actually meant to be positive.
Yeah.
And that is
the
such
absolute
a tiny
vast
percent.
majority of Muslims are entirely peaceful people.
Exactly. Exactly.
And yeah, and it's just, you know, a lot of it is the way the sort of media likes to, you know, propagate stories and spread fear and and sensationalize things. And
I think that
it's
happens
this horrible
so much.
racist elder generation that we have of people that have sort of grown up with these values.
Okay, this is I don't know whether I'm allowed to say this, but I had this really hilarious
Do you want to really think it over first?
No, it's all good. I had this hilarious conversation just to show the generational difference in acceptance, right?
Yeah.
So I love my nan. She's small and she is cute and she waddles around, right? She's
not a penguin,
Well, she's not a penguin. No,
Okay.
she's the one grandparent of mine that's still alive, and so we go to visit her all the time, and she's my mum's mum. And lovely background story, isn't it? Anyway.
I didn't mean it like that, I'm sorry.
So she went to Tasmania on a trip by herself. Now, I have hilarious stories of this. She took one of those cameras that you get developed at the pharmacy, that no one ever does that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a digital camera, it was a, what are they called?
I was going to say analog camera.
Analog camera.
Disposable
What
camera.
disposable cameras.
Celluloid, kind of thing.
And because she has shakes, so she gets tremors, so her hands shake a lot. And so you've got these photos, and she's like, oh, I wanted to get a photo of this big tree, but it wouldn't fit in the camera thing. And so I had to take 3 photos, and you got the shaky one of the trunk, and then the middle of it, and then the top of it, and it's spread over 3 pages of the photo album, so you can't even see the tree. And it was hilarious. Anyway, so she's telling us about this story of her driver and this one time where she had been in her motel and she'd gone for a wander to get dinner or something like that, and she was by herself even though she was doing a tour. At night time she was by herself and she was going to get her dinner. Anyway, So she'd walked so far, she couldn't work out where she had to go home. So she'd gone and eaten, and then she got a taxi or whatever. I think it was a taxi. Anyway.
An Uber? Was your grandma catching an Uber?
No,
maybe?
I don't think so. That's why I was like, I'm pretty sure it was a taxi. Anyway, she's describing it to my mum, and she was like, and it was this big black man. And she was like, it was just the most racist description of a taxi driver. And she's like, you know taxi drivers, you know, big black men. And Mum and I are just sitting there trying to not laugh while she's trying to explain to us.
But saying that someone is black or Asian or...
No. Black is different to Asian. Yellow and black.
No, I know. But describing someone
no, I don't
as
think
black
that's necessarily right.
is not racist.
I believe it is because they're not actually black coloured.
But if someone called you white, is that racist?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that I think that's a matter of opinion. I wouldn't consider that.
Well, I wouldn't, but you know,
I'm gonna get definition of racism.
Anyway, I was saying it was just like
I have a very strong opinion on that.
Mum and I were very no. So do I. That's the thing when they go, oh yeah, we've got lots of Asian people at our school. And they're, oh my goodness, racist. Like Asian people are really smart. Oh my god, racist.
It's just
it's
an identifying factor.
That is racist. Saying all Asians are smart.
But I didn't. I said we have lots of smart Asian people at our school.
But saying that we have lots of Asian people, that's a fact. That's true. We have lots of Asian people at our school.
We also have a lot of smart Asian people at our school.
Fact. Saying all Asians are smart or
I
they're
didn't say
smart
that
because they're Asian. I'm just saying that's
right.
Can be racist.
Yeah.
Well, it's a generalization.
It's a generalization based on race.
What
That's what racism is.
to say,
Sorry.
on my topic, you've got all these different stereotypes and generalizations, and we've still got people like my generation of my nan and stuff like that, right? Who just have no filter from the way they've grown up with like their view on different things. So that then rolls into also a lot of older people who are in the church, and I know they get a lot of flack for this, is the older people not understanding transgender, not understanding gay, lesbian things, right? So then you've got everybody pictures church like Vicar of Dibley or something. They're all old wacky people. And then if you watch Orange is the New Black, they've got this crazy Christian girl being a religious person who's trying to kill this person and is really crazy and wacko and saying, God wants me to smite you, and tries to kill this... Okay, sorry, spoiler alert, tries to kill Piper in the first season. I'm sure you've already seen it because season 3 is out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so she tries to kill Piper, but she's all saying it in the Word of God, and everybody's watching this, and it's like there is such a small amount of Christians these days that are actually like that. Yeah. However, we're portrayed to believe in such full-on stuff, or portrayed in a really embarrassing way, like an Izzy A, where they're like, now let's grab hands, I'm gonna think about Elijah, or something like that.
Yeah, and another classic one is the sort of, like, Southern American, like, the kind of redneck Christian that's...
Or that whole church in Westboro Baptist in America, you know, God hates fags and stuff, and it's like...
Well, can we not use that word?
No, that's what their signs say.
Right, yeah, okay,
They write that, and you've got like an 8-year-old kid.
That's just how you describe it. I'm like, oh my God.
No.
That's what their sign says. Okay.
They've got like signs, and they'll go to like a gay man's funeral, a gay military soldier's funeral or something, and they'll stand outside and picket with these massive signs, and they've got an 8-year-old sign, and I watched a documentary on it. It's disgusting, right?
Yeah.
But they're called Christians, and they're talking about this God and this God that they believe in. And then you've got the Muslims, and then you've got the terrorist people going in the God that they believe in. Yeah. And you're going, oh my goodness, like, well, if my friend's saying this, and there's so many, like, caricatured or wrong things that society is trying to work out. And it's like body image now, too. People are going, well, are we meant to be, like, is it big girl? Well, that's not healthy if they're too big, or is it we shouldn't care, or how do we look at this? And then everyone's silently judging, and I don't know whether it's better for everybody to be outwardly judging so we can sort all the shit out, or whether we should all then just internalize it and bitch behind people's backs.
Firstly, bravo, you're awesome. You're a very smart person. And we
Thank
need more
you.
people like you.
Thank you. I'm getting very independent these days, and I am happy about it.
Here's my 2 cents on this. Firstly, with all due respect to your grandma, I wish her all of well health. I know you care for her dearly, but it is a fact of life that all old people will die, and progression is a natural way of life. And this is the way that
and the world is moving.
The world moves through. Is just
even my mum. Just quickly, even my mum has changed so much in my explaining to her how it's not our place in any way, whether we're Christian or not. So I'm a Christian and Anglican, and my mum had seen on the front of a newspaper maybe 2 years ago or something when lesbian and gay things started to become more out, right?
Talked about
there was there was a picture of 2 girls kissing on the front, and my mum's like, "That's disgusting. I don't want to look at that." And I was like, "Mum, how can you say that's really rude? Like, this is on the front cover. It's not our place." And it took a while, and I a couple of weeks later, I sat down with her and I said, "Look, I know that you think that God doesn't want this to happen and stuff, but I don't believe in any way, shape or form that we are doing ourselves a favour, our religion a favour, our beliefs a favour by discriminating." And I was going, this actually, we should be celebrating this. These are people that are being themselves, and we are told to love and not judge people, and that's the only thing that I think everybody, no matter what religion you have, I've just learnt more and more these days to love and not judge, and we would have such more of a peaceful world because it's not your place but your own, Like...
Again, you're so awesome.
Thank you. I'm really proud. And so I'm a very proud Christian, but I am sad that there are people portraying us as complete idiots that don't accept people, and I think it's just a matter of the lack of understanding and how people have been brought up, or their misconceptions of stuff. And that's why I hated how we were portrayed in Orange is the New Black. It's like, I'm going to smite you, Ewan, because you're not a Christian, and blah, 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 blah.
But on what you were going to say, Ewan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Where are we going? Because I have a bit of a rebuttal.
People can
Him
change.
Or me?
No, to Ewan.
Absolutely, people can change. And I think that's what you were alluding to.
Yeah,
with the
about
story
my mum.
of your mother there.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that are very stuck in their ways and are very stubborn. And the only way that we're going to get rid of a lot of these people is just... No, I'm not saying we go out and systematically kill them.
See,
but
I've had this point before,
Yeah.
because I was watching an episode of Glee, and there's, if anyone knows Glee, there's a lesbian couple on the show.
Yeah, and gay couples.
There's several sorts of minority groups represented in that show, but there is one particular lesbian couple, Brittany and Santana, and they decided they were going to get married.
Did they? I stopped watching.
Sorry, spoiler alert. So
like you really care, it's Glee.
I will smite you.
I nearly fell off my chair.
Anyway, so Santana's grandma is really sort of traditional, and she doesn't support Santana in being a lesbian, and she doesn't support, of course, doesn't support her in marrying a girl. And
is she from a Christian?
No, she's not. This is not so much related to Christian, but the whole dying out thing.
Yeah,
is that Brittany, who's like the girl getting married to Santana, says
my favorite character.
Brittany says she has these like random smart moments. She has this like really intelligent moment, and she says something along the lines of, the world is changing. We're all becoming more accepting of these minority groups and these people. That eventually it's not going to be so much a minority group because we'll all be supportive of the differences and all that stuff. But she says if you're not willing to change, we're just waiting for people like you with sad,
stuck in the
super traditional beliefs to die out.
Yeah.
And I thought, when I heard that, I was like, that's awesome. Like, that's a really strong point, and that's to an extent that's true. But then I was talking about it with someone else, and they sort of made me realize that you can, these people are going to die out, but they're going to pass on their beliefs to their children. And I bet that there's still kids our age out there that are going to carry on the beliefs of their grandparents and their parents and things like that, and go sort of continue through life to have this sort of perception, like you were saying, of whatever, whatever stereotype you're talking about.
I think the culture that we are now creating for kids that are growing up is a very growing in acceptance, growing in your own beliefs and sticking by it. So, so by the time that maybe I'm having children, I would hope that, and like Lars and I talk about this, like it sounds really weird, like talking about, oh, how would you raise your kid? Like, would you be really disciplined, or would you be totally chilled and let them figure it out naturally? You know, all those kinds of conversations. But the most important thing I thought was like, well, I want my kid to be, and we were talking about this the other night, like I would want my kid to feel the most accepted at home, because that you want that to be a safe place and a thing that they're proud of, rather than something like, oh my goodness, like I'm embarrassed. Like when growing up, I think from when I was little, I was a bit like, oh, I go to school and nobody talks about religion, and everyone doesn't want to go to CRE? It was like you know, the religious little
education.
Yeah. And it was all these lame people, and my mum was one of them, and they're all telling you about the Bible stories, and it's like there's this one perception of one little thing, and you can be so embarrassed by it, but you don't realize until maybe you get to about this age where you go, actually, I have so much more control, and I don't have to believe what my parents believe. Yeah. And this, I've noticed this, especially now, trying to explain to my father about mental illness and what that is like. He has grown up kind of, don't talk about the problems that you're having, like, you know, you can get through them, they're not as big as you think. Yeah. You know, there was a comment, and this, I love my dad to pieces, and he has changed from this, but at one point he was going, well, yeah, I have a little bit of cancer in my body, but you don't see me lying in bed all day. And that was his rebut to me when I first started having depression, and he didn't understand that there is actually a lot more to it. And the more I've seen my parents grow in understanding that I will stick by my decisions, but you don't necessarily choose different things. So that leads back to lesbian and gay people, and I completely, like, people say the Bible says, you know, a man shouldn't lie down with another man, or whatever the wording is, but they forget that in the end, humans are humans, and just as much as that is considered a sin, I sin every day. Like everybody sins, or whatever it's called. Yeah. That's not what it's about. Sin is like the least relevant thing. It's the fact that you're acknowledging a relationship with this God that I believe in, right? And so the more that you grow up in a community that is telling you to speak your voice, the more you can change other people, and the more that our kids will grow up going, actually, I'm going to tell my mum, like, I think it's really cool, and I want to become this, and I want to do this. And something that I've wanted to do now on my channel is go, actually, at first I wanted to be just the same old beauty YouTuber, but I realized, like, I enjoy editing and I have fun making the videos, and I go, why not use that? Like, yeah, I'm not going to make this thing where I only want a certain amount of girls to watch it, and I want them to become Christians, or I want them to become this and to learn this. But I want my biggest thing, and my whole channel's going to change really soon when I put out this latest video, in going, you are who you are, and I want everyone to know that, and I can show them my life, and I can show them what the way I live it and how I live it positively with a mental illness that's probably going to be away, that go I believe it's going to go away, but to be a positive thing that is on the internet. And so that's why we have podcasts like these, to spread positive messages and individual things. It needs to be spoken out more people need to hear that whatever is going on, you can be you, no matter who, whether it's a family relative or anything like that. And we need to bring that out more so that our kids can feel comfortable and not lie to us or hide for so long. Like, these people are coming out now.
That was, that sort of relates to the whole, like,
so many YouTubers are coming out now.
Child-parent relationship thing where it's like, the whole thing of, do you know, talk to your parents about things, or are there things that you shouldn't talk to your parents about? Should your parents know everything, or, you know?
And, like, that's totally cool. It's totally cool to be like, actually, no, that's something personal. Like, you're not going to be like, oh my goodness, I have this many pubic hairs. Like, there are just things you choose.
There are to count.
But something I was telling Monique the other night, I was going, No, that wasn't what Oh, that came across.
Sorry, I'm just trying to crack jokes.
I was just trying to say, I was telling Monique this the other night, you as a person choose where your priorities are. If your priorities are in hiding things from people, that is your choice. It's probably, like, not always going to be the healthiest choice. But make sure that you're making those decisions and not someone else for you. End of segment. If I had a microphone now, I'd drop it, which I do. But
don't drop my microphone. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I was gonna say,
we
I
were
was
just
like
enthralled.
looking at you and like, you're really letting your awesomeness shine through.
And Monique and I like looked at each other and was like, this is just like mind blowing.
This is what this is all about.
Yeah, and so I hope people will feel they can pop over to my channel, but I'll have people on there, and it's more about good, non-judgmental vibes. It doesn't need to be, oh my goodness, I'm so happy all the time, because that's not life.
Yeah.
But you've just got to encourage people. You don't want these videos where someone's saying, you need to be this, you need to fit into this, you need to do this, you need to look like this. The amount of beauty YouTubers that are stick thin, I'm struggling with my weight. That's going to be a continual thing. And the majority of people are like a size 14 in Australia. That's the average woman's size. Doesn't mean it's necessarily healthy. Could be a normal thing, could not be. But it's their choice, and you've got to tell them that they're beautiful in whatever size they are. And that message needs to be spread more in the beauty community and in every community, I think.
Yeah. My sort of overarching opinion of all this, and you know, this goes to your points on religion, on body image, on sexuality, is that people just need to mind their own business and just stop caring about what other people are doing and what other people think of you.
The only time I would intercept that is when it starts to negatively impact others.
That is of course the exception. Like you obviously you got to be concerned what other people are doing when it causes harm or discomfort to other people. But otherwise, who the hell cares? Like, so two guys or two girls want to get married. Does that make your heterosexual marriage any different? No.
I know.
Absolutely not. It's an
if
entirely
anything, they
different
may
ballpark.
be jealous because these people actually want to live their life together, and these people are stuck in a marriage certificate that actually... And there was this thing... I'm sorry, this is going on.
No, go crazy.
There was a couple that I read about that were a Christian couple, and they were saying, well, if this becomes a thing in Australia, we're going to take away...
we're going to
get divorced.
Yeah.
Because the piece of paper means nothing. And I haven't fully thought about this. And Lars was going, it makes a bit of sense, because you're going, okay, well, the rule, like the definition of marriage was based on a law that was brought during when Christian faith was the biggest faith in Australia, and it was based on the Bible, the definition of marriage. And so I think that the fact that it's changing, I don't think they should get divorced. I know what they mean by marriage is just a piece of paper, but I think it's really sad. I came across a teacher going, but marriage is just a piece of paper. Like, my boyfriend and I don't need that to show that we're together. But I think it's like, for gay people, it's a legal thing, but it's also like, you have a ceremony and it's a public declaration of love.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I see it as. And as much as those guys are saying, well, we're Christians, and if that's our belief is marriage is this, they can call it whatever they want, but don't change the definition of marriage. I think that's kind of terrible, because their definition of marriage is a public declaration of the pairing of two people, a man and a woman, with God. And so whether or not I think gay people are getting married, and whether God is a part of that relationship, which there are so many gay Christians that people don't even think about.
Mm.
But whether God is in that or not, the piece of paper should stay the same. I think that changing the definition of that, because it's not saying marriage is between man, woman, and God.
Yeah.
If that was the case, then I can see them changing the definition of marriage, because maybe God isn't a part of everybody's life now.
But, like, for most people, I think it's changed anyhow.
I know,
Like,
exactly.
there are plenty of non-Christians, like my parents, for instance,
I know.
that are married.
I know,
It's like-
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it doesn't matter about the paper. I think it's where their heart is.
Yeah.
And so I disagree with what the couple was saying in that they should get divorced.
Mm.
Then again, they can believe whatever they want to and do whatever
and then
they want
on
to.
issues like sexuality, it's like, you know what? So what that you're a man that identifies more with the female gender. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. I couldn't care.
And
It's your life.
yeah,
Do what you
and
want.
sometimes it's going to be weird because you'll be like, whoa, I never saw that coming, or whoa, this is a bit odd. You
Mm.
know, it's new to me. I don't fully get it.
That's part of.
And that's part of why people kind of get, no, this can't be normal. But I think we're so over normal, because in the media and in YouTube even, normal is portrayed as these skinny little people that
It's
are...
bland and it's boring.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
just need more... We need more range. More range. Imagine if everybody had a YouTube channel, how sick that would be.
I think that we need to, in terms of the body image stuff, like saying all these YouTubers are...
That was too generalized. Oops.
No,
Sorry.
that's
Apology
that's
taken
good.
back.
But I just like the whole thing about how you mentioned Meghan Trainor as well earlier. There was a really good, like, it was coming back to like another open letter where someone was like pinpointing all the things that was wrong with this song that Meghan Trainor, who's sort of put herself out there as a body image pioneer, if you like,
Yeah.
has
For
come out.
one body image.
Yeah, but like, so they picked apart this song and pretty much said that it's only for one body image, and she's actually sort of it's ironic because she's counteracting what she's aiming to do, which is to advocate, well, assuming that she's wanting to advocate for good body image, but I've lost my train of thought.
You said when I said all YouTubers, I meant there
Yeah,
are a lot of beauty YouTubers who are very skinny.
I think, so this open letter that I was reading was pretty much just saying, like, this is all the things that was wrong with Meghan Trainor's song, but really, we just we need to move on. Like, we need, and this is kind of coming down to what Ewan was saying,
Yeah.
we need to move on from this sort of
Judging,
hyper-focused
yeah.
on people's images and comparing each other to the way they look, because, like, you know, and describing people as this whole thing that comes back to, like, what you were saying about your grandma describing the taxi driver as black. It's like describing people based on their appearance, and obviously that's the easiest way to do it.
And that is the message that I haven't shown Monique yet, but coming up on my YouTube channel where the change will happen.
We're just in sync.
I'm sorry,
So
yeah. I just recently have been re-editing a lookbook that I made maybe a month ago. And at the time, I was really insecure about my body. I was trying to use clips that were the highlights of my body and not the bad parts. And when I re-looked at it, and I'd get sad every time because I was going, these lookbooks, everybody's looking at this one person. They're just looking at the clothes they're wearing and taking apart that. And that's great, but I didn't want the focus to be on that. And I realized I actually needed to change something about my channel, because otherwise it was just going to fall in this big pile of another person that's showing themselves off in a really highlighted, this is the best parts of me collage. And so I did a stream of consciousness. I just turned my mic on and I played the video and I spoke my thoughts like I have today. And I pretty much said, this lookbook is showing you like 1% of me.
Yeah.
It doesn't show you my hobbies. It doesn't show you my opinions on different things. It doesn't do anything like that. And so why should that be put out there for everybody to see when there is so much more behind you? And so I go, there are parts of my body that I'm working on. There are parts of my body that I wish I could change, but in the end, that's my journey, and I'm happy to share it with you. But there's no need to judge There's no need to judge my journey, and I want to encourage other people to be in their own journeys and not worry about whatever else people are thinking.
Yeah, this is like getting back to what I was saying. Is that people's priorities for starters are all wrong, and people care way too much about what other people think, and as a result they start judging themselves. And like people just need to relax.
Yeah.
They just think, okay, what is it about my personality that like what makes me happy, and they just need to focus back in on themselves. And Monique makes jokes to me all the time, like how much chocolate. And like, I like eating chocolate. You know, is it like the socially acceptable thing to do? Maybe not. Maybe I should not be mixing spoonfuls of Nutella with my porridge. But that's what I do.
I do that too.
But I also like going for a bike ride every now and then, and I like working where I work, which is quite a physical job. And I don't know, like, it's just, like, everything in life is about balance, and, part of it is balancing your expectations with other people's expectations, but, just, like, do what you enjoy doing, don't worry about what other people think and do.
Because people spend their lives trying to reach something that should already be, I feel like a more achievable goal is, like, living a life that I am confident in every stage, that I am a good being according to whatever you believe and stuff. So for me, maybe it's going, okay, well, my journey, I want to be like this. I want to become stronger. I want to do these kinds of things, but I want my goal in life not to be set on those. They can be short-term goals. They can be goals that I take away at times, but I want to live a life that I don't judge people, and I encourage people to love themselves, because one voice, I finished the lookbook and it's like, I guess I only have one voice, but I want to use it in the biggest way I can. And so at the end it's like, this is me, and then it like had all the bloopers of like the parts that I didn't want to put in. It's gonna be
great publishing.
But you just like
and I think a lot of people maybe act to be someone they're not in order to attract other people and make friendships and maybe find a love interest or whatever. But like, newsflash, I think a lot of society today is built around the internet, and you don't even need the internet. But there's all three of us are unique individuals, and we all have our weirdness. Yeah. And I know plenty of other people that are bizarre people, and are many of them single? No. A lot of them have had relationships or are in relationships at the moment.
That's another issue, Ewan.
No, but like, what I'm saying is that
your like,
you can be who you are, you can be yourself, and still find companionship in life.
Well, that's only. But
is that
not
the ultimate priority?
It's
No.
No.
This is another reference to Megan Trainor's thing, is that she was like, boys like big booties to hold at night, and the Dear Future Husband song, and it's like,
was ridiculous.
You're advertising for young girls to be basing the way they feel they should look and the way they feel they should represent themselves based on the way guys are perceiving themselves, based on the fact that they might want, a relationship in the future or something like that. It's like, that's not the main part of life. You need to be a whole human without, like...
I have one thing, though, about that. There was that quote that said, you can't be loved by somebody else until you learn to love yourself. Yeah. And I disagree.
Oh, okay.
I disagree.
I was like, yes, true.
Because I, for my entire life, I believe, because society's things will continue to change, yes, I want to try and accept myself through my changes, wherever that goes, whether I get bigger or smaller, whether my brain becomes smarter or not, because I keep talking about body, but really there's so much more to me, like my heart rate, like my cardiovascular abilities is so much more important than
I'm telling you now, don't worry so much about that.
but seriously, and so what was I saying? I will continue to struggle with that, and I think everybody will continue to struggle throughout life in accepting themselves, and that's why we're so critical on everybody else to try and make ourselves feel a bit better, like a little bit more normal, or a little bit more strong, or a little bit more everything, right? And when that quote was talking about having someone else love you, as in a relationship, but for what I believe, for me, that I'm already loved by the person that created me. Person, probably the wrong thing. But, so my goal is kind of going, okay, so I'm already accepted and loved, whether I love myself or not, God loves me. And the way I view life in going, if somebody there is strengthening your best self and bringing out your best self, and for Lars and I being a Christian couple, our thing is going, if we encourage each other in our faith, if we, rather than like pull them away from church and their friends and take them away from that and make them feel bad about themselves, that's not a good companionship. And so whether you are stronger with your relationship with God by yourself, a lot of people will choose to stay single, even though they think marriage is what all Christians do. There are so many single Christians that have the biggest hearts and are actually so confident in themselves they don't need...
And it's not because they can't get a partner, it's because they don't necessarily want one or choose to live by themselves.
Okay. Fair enough, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all I was getting to is the fact that I feel like most people in life seek companionship, and I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. I stand by that comment. Not everyone does.
It's a generalization.
Yeah, okay, it's a bit of a generalization. I did say most. I still stand by that.
I think if I were to simplify it into just a general life thing, either it works better for you, whatever brings out the best in you and makes you the best person in all circumstances, that doesn't hinder you when you're with friends, take you away from friends or take you away from your family, whether they make the best son, yourself the best version of a son, the best version of a good friend, the best version of this, and just inspire you to become that and be that. That is a good companionship, and whether you're best doing that yourself, then that's something. It's like, school wasn't for me maybe at the moment. It didn't bring out the best in me, and actually that was due to other illness stuff, but it didn't complement and it didn't make me feel confident about myself, and it didn't make me a better person at the time. So once you get rid of that, you realize, there are things that I need to make myself a better person, but there are also things I don't need. And so companionship is not always going to be for everyone.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah, you just got to do what you feel is right for you and worry less about what other people think.
One thing about this new acceptance thing that I'm worried about is at one point we're going to get to a point where there are no genders, and then suddenly the whole world becomes... we're all just it's, and I'm a bit afraid that that's not...
I don't think...
many different points to discuss.
Let's leave that for another day.
Fish.
Alrighty, let's wrap it up. I'm gonna not do a topic.
Okay.
Because we're already beyond the hour. That's fine. So thanks for joining us in what was episode 15 of the Pause Podcast. The podcast posts on iTunes and SoundCloud every second Friday.
Awesome.
And a YouTube breakout throughout the week. You can follow everything there. You can follow everything I do on my Twitter, which is at UNTRoxbury. You can follow everything Jessie does at her...
Twitter, which is JessSingleton21.
Cool. And do you do anything?
I gram a little bit, but...
You gram.
Don't follow me. I'll...
I Instantgram.
I Instagram. Yeah, a little bit. But...
I think everyone Instagrams a little bit.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Cool. Well, adios amigos. It's been a pleasure having you. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You can say goodbye if you want to.